What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again. Let's talk about two Shudder original films that I've seen recently. They both have come out somewhat recently. Saloum and Speak No Evil. Saloum is an IFC Midnight / Shudder original set in, I want to say set in Africa. I want to narrow it down, but it's set in a French-speaking African country. I'll see if I can find out and let you know. And Speak No Evil is I believe it's a Danish film that is in Danish, Dutch, and English. And it's got, doesn't matter which language they're speaking, there's English subtitles at the bottom. So I guess we'll do Saloum first. I'm not going to give any character names or tell you the names of any actors or anything, just to speed things along. I do actually kind of enjoy trying to pronounce the names of foreign-born actors and actresses, such as Morjana Aloui from the last film that I reviewed, Broken. At any rate, Saloum, interesting, fun movie. Definitely kind of an exciting film. In that, we have an action horror film set in Africa that feels different and looks different. Perhaps some of it towards the end became a little more familiar, but really interesting film. Really great soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack is authentic to the region. This part of Africa, when you're thinking of the scenery is beautiful, lots of nice overhead shots. You're probably thinking of something like a jungle or like wide open plains or something. This does not look like that. This is very interesting looking. This is like a river delta area, I suppose. Some beautiful shots of boats. I mean, small boats. It really is a nice film to look at. Basically, it tells the story of three mercenaries. Okay, they're like these notorious mercenaries that in the beginning they steal some gold, and a Mexican individual they must deliver back to the cartels. So they got all kinds of things going on. So they basically are flying away, and they realize their plane is leaking fuel, so they have to land. And basically, they stay at kind of a village. The village is kind of like an Airbnb village, but the catch is you can stay there, but you have to sort of pitch in with chores. Okay, and one of the three mercenaries seems to have some kind of connection there. Okay, so the guy that's running it, I think, was like ex-military. There's a couple artists there. There's also a deaf woman, which kind of was significant to the plot. And then there's another guy that sidles up who's a police officer. So that they're a little wary of that situation. They're trying to kind of hide what they're doing, you know. And it's kind of weird the way it settles into this thing where you see their routine of chores. There's a funny scene where the head guy takes one of the guys, and they both have air rifles, and they go shooting at poachers. That's part of their chores. It's pretty funny. So anyway, the one mercenary who seems to have a connection to the place begins to act a little strangely. There's some kind of distrust. There's kind of some hints of some new supernatural elements early in the film. By the way, the one mercenary seems to be like almost a mystic kind of a guy. He's got a neat trick he does for making people fall asleep instantly. It's kind of cool. But he seems to be aware that something is afoot here, something is coming. And so when a confrontation finally happens, some supernatural forces are unleashed, and then he must fight against them. And it's kind of interesting. Maybe you saw on Instagram my the 3 skulls I got: speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. Well, in this film, when the supernatural forces come, they must cover their ears. And I don't want to say too much more, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. They can't let these forces tell them what to do. it would be bad. So it's the special effects are pretty good. Nothing groundbreaking. It would have been awesome in like 2005, I think. You know what I mean? But they're well done. I'm just saying that. I don't know. It maybe it gets a little more. It kind of gets more conventional at the end. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole film. It was well made, very interesting film. I'd love to see what the filmmakers come up with next. And again, funny thing, I mean, I just got these Three Skulls, the next film, the Danish film, Speak No Evil. Basically, you have, it opens in Italy, and you have a couple on vacation in, I think, Tuscany. And they kind of keep crossing paths with another couple, okay? And it turns out that couple is from the Netherlands, okay? So you might want to get a map out for this one and try to remember which languages go with which country. Because they really can't communicate with each other, so when they do, they speak English. It's kind of interesting. I've seen that in a lot of other Scandinavian movies and shows. At any rate, the couple from the Netherlands kind of keeps inserting themselves in the way, and there's one scene where the little girl loses her stuffed animal, and when the husband he finds it, he comes back. His wife is talking to this new couple, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I went to get my daughter's stuffed animal." And the guy was like, "You did that? You did that, bro? Respect, man." And he's like, "Oh, okay, sure. Like it's just dad duty, The guy's a little weird. Anyway, months later, they're back in Denmark, and they get a postcard basically inviting them to come visit in the other couple in the Netherlands. They have a little girl, by the way. The couple in the Netherlands has a little boy that does not speak, or the father at one point says he doesn't speak well. Okay. So they go, and this is one of these films, I'm not going to say too much about this. Much like the film that I just reviewed, which I of course now cannot remember the title. I just reviewed it. It's about two couples, and it's very awkward situations ensue. Okay, unlike a movie like The Invitation, which is kind of similar in a way too, where things kind of ramp up slowly, and then explode. This is like almost like cycles. They're kind of hanging out, and then something awkward happens. Then everyone's like, "Oh, okay, we're fine, we're fine." And then something awkward happens again 20 minutes later, and I got to tell you, there are some awkward parts of this film. I was watching on my iPad. I actually paused it a few times. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, it was awkward because they're trapped in this house. They're at this house, and the daughter doesn't like the bed that they have for her, so she's coming in the room, and they're kind of like the Danish woman is a vegetarian. They kind of forget that, and things kind of come to a head, and then there's a confrontation, and then they go through like, oh, okay, we're sorry, let's get back to normal, but it just doesn't stop. And at the end, things get dark. Okay, it's dark. It's a dark film. I won't really say too much more about it other than that. That's pretty much it. I don't want to say that much. I don't think I've watched the trailers, but again, watch trailers at your mercy, at your peril. For Saloum, there might be. I know there's a few clips of like the opening scene, which that doesn't really give too much, but it gives you a little feel for the music and everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed both of these films. Speak No Evil was rough. It was dark. Perhaps a little slow in parts for some people, but I don't really think so. Again, it just oh my gosh, there are very few movies that I will have to pause and just collect myself because it's getting so uncomfortable or awkward, but this was one of them. I mean, I sat there and watched Broken all the way through, and that was rough. Okay guys, those are my review of 2 Shudder original films. Let me know if you've seen them. I think I'm going to go listen to the soundtrack for Saloum right now. Let me know if you plan on watching them. What other Shudder original films have you seen recently? let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.